Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever applies to you. Welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Julia. I'm a contemporary singing specialist based in Australia, and today we are checking out some brand new Electric Callboy. This is their first release since their name change, and I am super keen to dive on into this because every single song that I've listened to from them has been fun. The music videos have been almost insane. So the hype is real and, in my opinion, well earned. I'm very excited to get on into Spaceman with you all today, featuring a new artist that I haven't heard before, Finch. The only thing I know about Finch is that he is a German rapper. So let's get into this.
I'm Spaceman, got a rocket on my back. Spaceman, oh I'm raving like a maniac. Spaceman, got a rocket on my back. The universe is down for my ring attack. 3, 2,
Fidschi-Gagarin, die boxen doch mal auf. Gestern noch im Trockenbau, heute bin ich Restaurant. Denn ja, jeder kann sie sehen, da am Himmel weiße Streifen. Wer braucht von euch noch Beweise? Ja, die Erde ist der
Spaceman, got a rocket on my back. Spaceman, oh I'm raving like a maniac. Spaceman, got a rocket on my back. The universe is down for a ring attack.
How do they write such catchy stuff? And it is simple in its idea, and yet the execution is so fun. It's so well done. The moment he took the helmet off and the hair just kept going, I'm like, and there is the hair theme for for this music video. As we know, we've had the mullets, we've had the perm. Now we've got this. We've got the sky high shot on the sides, real long on top type of style. I do think that I'm sensing that formula has crept back in on how they kind of put their songs together, but it is no less exciting and no less fun, even though that formula is there. I was really impressed with where Nico went in the melody. I just actually want to go back and have another listen to his clean vocals, and then we'll listen a little bit more to Finch. It's difficult because I don't speak German, so that's making it hard for me to understand the connection, obviously, between lyric cadence and flow, which is kind of really important if you're listening to rap music. But we're gonna go back, listen to Nico, and then I'm sure we'll hear some more from Kevin before the end of this. Also, of course, I would immediately go back and click on this particular still of the music video. Okay, fine. All right, I think this is where it was.
Spaceman, got a rocket on my back. Spaceman, oh I'm raving like a maniac. Spaceman, got a rocket on my back. The universe is down for a ring attack.
I just want to keep listening to this song. Oh, it's so fun. It turns me into an idiot. Okay. There is a lot more compression I feel in Nico's sound in this particular chorus. In the other songs that I've reacted to, so we got the moves, pump it, hyper hyper. I've always felt like Nico's vocals have been so chill to the point where, yes, he's making like a mixed belt sound, but it seems so relaxed. It's almost like the energy is perfect for what it was within those songs, but this is the first time I'm really hearing where there's a little bit more compression in his belt. And what I mean by compression is quite literally compression within the vocal tract. So we've got sounds like a little bit more squeezing going on in the pharynx, whereas in other songs it sounded like he's been a little bit more relaxed. Still the same tonality, but because we have that compression this time, there's an energy and a I want to use the word sharpness to his twang and to his belt in this one, but sharpness as in a feeling of impact, a feeling of intention in the singing, not pitch. I'm not saying that he's sharp as in off the pitch. I'm saying that there's this like real impact in what he's delivering in this chorus. And so I'm just going to pitch check where we're at. Because it's genuinely shocked me in the past how comfortable he has sounded up around things like A4s, B flat 4s. Is this piano on? Of course not. Wouldn't be a Julia video if she turned the piano on first. Oh. It's not switching on. What have I done? Hold, please. All right, my piano's not broken. Yay. Let's go back and have a listen. I'm just going to pitch check because before he has kind of sat around this A4, B flat 4, which for a lot of people just belting there alone can have the kind of energy and compression that he's now using in this song. But he's just been so chill in the other Electric Callboy songs that I've reacted to that that it genuinely shocked me. He almost makes it sound not as high as it actually is. I had to pitch check last time and was like, holy moly, he's gunning up that 4th octave. All right. Ba-ba. So yeah, we're still up on this like tippy top of the 4th octave. We're almost into the 5th. And it sounds like he's dropping down a 5th. Yeah, okay. So we're dropping a perfect 5th, which means that energy as he hits that B natural in that B4, which is this note here, he has to be able to manage that going back down. Yes, okay, he did go into the 5th octave. Yes, okay, so he's gone up for the C5. Oh, and he's keeping that energy there too. For those of you who aren't familiar with the term belting, belting is a really intense, highly energetic vocal sound. Is it loud? Has it got lots of energy? And does it kind of almost sound like, some people can almost call it like shouting on pitch. It's not a shout. It's more of a call. Like if you're calling out to someone from further away, that's actually a closer analogy to what a belt actually is compared to calling it shouting. Although I suppose some people take their belt too far and then it does start to sound like shouting, but that's not what is happening here. We've got this belt, this highly energetic sound, and he's carrying it very quickly, albeit quickly, up to this C5 and back down. So we have broken through the 5th octave. Nice. All right, let's keep going.
Steht vorm Supermarkt, dreht die Boombox an und geht zu Scooter.
That was a cool little motif that he's got in there. Let's listen to that again. Basically, the repetitive, my body just wants to keep moving now, even when the music has stopped. This is wild. Okay, let's listen to that again. So he's got this descending motif going on in his rap, and motifs are really, if you want to think of it as like, a motif is an example of what a rapper's melody might be like. Really, it's just repetition within cadence. So cadence speaks to where our prosody or our spoken pitch wants to stand. It's not exactly the same as melody as you would normally describe what a singer might be doing. But in this instance, we can hear this definite repetition in his cadence. And that sets up something like a motif, which is a repeated musical pattern that is recognizable. So let's listen to that again. It sets up well for the rest of his phrase, actually.
Dreht vorm Jupiter, steht vorm Supermarkt, dreht die Boombox an und geht zu Scooter. Schau mir sehr Rausche, fliege hoch Richtung Mars.
There's always at least one thing, just when you think, oh, there's nothing else they can throw at us to like, it's hilarious. I find these guys so comedic, and I'm thrilled that with this featuring artist is sort of continuing that vibe from all of the other Electric Callboy songs that we've listened to. There's always something. I thought I'd been holding it together. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm familiar with this. And then that just... I'm such a child, clearly. All right, let's listen to that again. Still going. Okay, breathe, breathe, breathe. All right, we're going to keep going. It sounds like we've now met the next transition into where it gets harder in the music. Slightly more harsh instrumentation back into our harsh vocals. Let's keep going. I'm not going to fall for it this time. Fall for it. I'm not going to giggle like an idiot this time. Maybe.
Wir sind Raumschiff, flieh hoch Richtung Mars. Wo sind die Jedi-Ritter? Wo sind die Marsmenschen? Wo sind die Klingonen? Mach's wie mit meiner Ex, ich schieß euch alle auf den Mond. Hallo Leberwurst geschnallt, fliegt die Kehle kurz durchs All. Immer weiter von uns weg, dank der Schwerelosigkeit. Und dann, ist der Weltenlohn. Hier kommt der Raketenhaken wie Baller in Jagen.
That was so cool. The layering there, the build, those sirens really contributed to the tension of that particular section there. One of the things I've kind of always kind of banged on about this particular group is how clever their layering is. For building and releasing tension, yes, there's a similar formula, but this is now, to me at least, I consider it to be part of their style is to use the components that we've heard in other songs. We have things that lean more EDM, we have things that lead more on the harsh side, heavier instrumentation, harsher vocals, and the way in which they move from section to section is just perfect. Let's go back. We're going to re-listen to that section. I want you to pay attention to the layers. So not what's being said, but what's happening in the other sounds, because this build here was fantastic. I mean, yes, it's helped along by the fact that we have that beat that slowly increases its speed. So we're going up in BPM in the rhythm, which we've already been sort of sitting in a similar speed or a similar BPM. Earlier in the song, we've had that feeling of that 4 on the floor, I'm just going to sit in it throughout. But this is really pulled back. You get some space, and then they reintroduce that really effective tension building. And it is more on the simple side melodically. It's more on the simple side lyrically. I mean, I don't know about the lyrics in the rap because I don't understand the German. I could sing in German if I had to, but I don't understand the German, so can't speak to the lyricism on display from Finch in this particular song. I'm sorry. But layers like a cake. I like cake.
Wo sind die Jedi-Ritter? Wo sind die Marsmenschen? Wo sind die Klingonen? Mach's wie mit meiner Ex, ich schieß euch alle auf den Mond. Hallo Leberwurst geschnallt, fliegt die Kehle kurz durchs All. Immer weiter von uns weg, dank der Schwerelosigkeit. Und dann, ist der Weltenlohn. Hier kommt der Raketenhaken wie Baller in Jagen.
Nice. If the mission was maximum fun, it is party time, let's go. Damn straight the mission is complete. That was so much fun. Oh, and it's so great to hear more intensity from Nico. It was so great to hear more intensity from Nico as a vocalist too. Maybe it's doesn't sound as obvious if you're if you're not listening to singers all the time, but you can definitely hear that there's more compression, more intensity in Nico's delivery style within this particular song. And I think it suits the other parts of the EDM sounds that were starting to be introduced. So things like sirens, things that were a little bit more on the distorted side. So even when we're not necessarily in the harsh section, like I just like how they put this together. I think it's really clever. And we've got Kevin with those harsh vocals again. I'm still not 100% sure on whether he's false fold or whether he's Fry, because I used to think that I understood the tonality of both, and I've started to realize that harsh vocals on different singers can sound different. I know that that sounds like it should be obvious, but for clean singing, there are certain qualities that let you know that a particular technique is being used. And as I've sort of dived into harsh vocals, there are a few key things. So, like people saying that for a false fold scream, it tends to sound a little bit wider because the true folds are open. So there's some width to it. Perhaps the phrase isn't going to last quite as long because you're using so much air to push through things, but you still get a level of distortion. Maybe it starts to sound a little bit burpy at times as well because those true folds are open. You've got a lot of air being pushed through, and you can have false fold screams at high, mids, and lows. So sure, that's great. But the Fry screaming has just thrown a spanner in the works because I think where I started was by assuming that Fry screams were that all high stuff was Fry screams and all low stuff was false fold. And the further I've dived into it, the more I have realized that there are some people who are just exceptional and can do their high mids and lows with a Fry scream. They can do their high mids and lows with a false fold. And sometimes it can be harder to tell the difference. So with Kevin's delivery, I'm thinking it's false folds. I'm just going to listen again. Oh God, that hair is insane in a good way. He's having like a full Jimmy Neutron moment. I want to listen to Kevin again because I feel like I've not really dived on into Kevin's vocals much, and it's because I have that argument in my head all the time. It's like when you start off and you know not a whole heap, you're like, oh, I know what this is. And then the more you learn about the topic, you're like, shit, it could be anything. It makes me reluctant to say with absolute certainty what something is specifically, because you can listen to one vocalist and you're like, oh, that's false fold. It sounds like false fold. It's really obvious. It's got that width to it, that depth to it. Another singer, still a false fold screamer, but it starts to sound a little bit more like Fry. I don't like saying things for certain unless I'm dead certain. So at least you know I'm not going to intentionally lie to you about this stuff because it's still on that journey, but it's an interesting thing about harsh vocals. So if you have specific things that you listen for that let you know this is Fry scream, this is false fold, please let me know, because some things it's like, yeah, okay, that sounds obviously Fry, but then there are some ambiguous vocalists, man, where I'm like, this could be, you could be an alien that just does everything, and you switch them and you combo them up, and now it's hard to fully break down exactly what it is. I shall figure this out if it's the last thing I do. For right now, I just got to be transparent. I got to be transparent. And I'll give my best educated guess based off what I've learned so far, at least for where I'm at right now. Let me find you. Kevin. Kevin, where are you? Okay, I didn't find Kevin. Where is Kevin? So like that layer there, that sounds to me like false fold there. It's the that's in it for me. So specific. Only the finest terminology for you wonderful subscribers here on this channel. And if you aren't subscribed, what are you doing? You want to hang out again? Or maybe not. If you do subscribe, we're gonna re-listen to that again. And then that is clearly got some higher frequencies going through it. Actually, yeah, no, I'm still gonna stick to my guns. I feel like it's false fold. there, you can hear that static in it. That was normally what would trigger me to think it's a fry scream. Gosh darn it, can't you just stay low and wide? No, that would be boring. And it wouldn't show off Kevin's ability to utilize his harsh vocals in different parts of his range. His range as a harsh vocalist, like, has incredible span, especially if he was the one doing the pig squeals in Hyper Hyper. That at the end of Hyper Hyper, where I said it sounded like dial up, I thought for sure that must have been something fed in the lines, and you guys were like, no, it's a pig squeal. I'm like, holy dooly, that's wild. Is that Kevin? Damn. So like there, the tonality shifts in these harsh vocals. We've gone from something low, slightly, I wouldn't say it's like super, super low. I don't feel like we're in like low guttural territory there, but we're in our mids, and then I can hear layers coming in that have those higher frequencies there. And then sliding through there. And we're back to Spaceman. Da 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 da. Oh, this is gonna live in my head for the next 20 years. Something else that I didn't realize until I just went back to the beginning was we get our chorus, a super catchy chorus down the octave from Nico in the beginning. I actually get to hear a little bit of this husk in his tone because I'm so used to hearing him up on a belt, and it's a pretty darn clean belt. It's so perfect for pop. I need to check out what is that song? Hate Love, I think was the one you guys told me to check out. I could have misremembered that, but to hear more range as far as like expressing himself with different tones, different parts of his range as well, because you said that he uses quite a fair bit of his voice, whereas he's been able to sing these really catchy pop styled choruses in the other songs. But here we get to hear a little bit of this, his own little distortion actually in his voice.
I'm Spaceman, got a rocket on my back. Spaceman, oh I'm raving like a maniac. Spaceman, got a rocket on my back.
Actually, I'm thinking now that distortion is from whatever mixing they've done to it. Still sounds pretty clean, but that's really cool to be able to hear him down the octave. And as far as form goes, we have the introduction of the super catchy part of the song, the octave down, which means when it actually hits and comes back around, we have all that extra energy. And then, of course, after we've had this, what is essentially the hook of the song introduced in the beginning, we wind up in our verse, chorus, bridge, outro, chorus style, like melded together, chorus, outro vibe for the rest of the song. So it's a pretty standard pop and rock form. If I'm honest, I mean, it's a pretty standard song form just all around. But yeah, those little things that will make it catchy, like introducing the hook in the beginning without the energy that it then builds to, so that you wind up experiencing that build. Clever songwriting, highly, highly enjoyable. This has been fun. What a wild time. I never know what to okay, so this is the thing. I think I know what I'm going to expect because I've watched a few of their videos, but at the same time, I have no idea what to expect on the visual concept, because every single time I'm surprised and something happens. Like the that is just so fun. This music is fun, and I deeply appreciate, especially in kind of the climate that we're in, where there's a lot of not so fun things happening, that this kind of music exists. This is a good time. I enjoyed myself. If you liked this video, please be sure to give it a like, click the subscribe button and the bell notification beside it for more just like this one. As usual, I hope you're staying safe. I hope you are staying healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye. Would trigger me to think, oh, it's a fry scream. I'm dying. That's too much. It's too much. I'm sorry. Even if you guys don't find it funny, I find that hilarious. Spaceman, oh no, Spaceman, oh no.